Hey everybody, good morning. This video, we're going to talk about Neville Goddard, but we're going to talk about how to think from something. When you hear Neville Goddard say, you got to think from it. Okay, you got to think of your intention, but you got to think from it in order to manifest. And I mean, also you hear other people, other people that teach Neville Goddard, other people who talk about Neville Goddard. They're used to the same lingo. I mean, I do the same thing. I fall in the same trap. I use the same lingo of Neville Goddard. But how do you think from something? What does that really mean? Because sometimes they can be confusing, and this is what makes Neville Goddard confusing to some people. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and one of the reasons why it took me so long to kind of get into Neville Goddard was that when you listen to him and you listen to his live audios, it's a little bit it's a little bit confusing. I mean, you really have to pay attention. Your mind can't drift. Your mind drifts and comes back, and you're like, what in the world is he talking about? But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm doing my morning walk. Got my coffee here, so I might take a sip of my coffee here and there because it's hot. And before we get started really quick, is that one of the things, lots of times, like, we can, especially in law of assumption, law of attraction, manifesting, we kind of get into a bad habit. We can like intellectually talk about this stuff. We can debate about people. We debate with people about certain topics. You can say, hey Chad, I've heard this 100 times. I know what you're talking about. But yet, on the reverse side of things, you're not getting what you want. It's not working for you. Or it's just something simple as, and you know this, you're not practicing what you preach. So you can sit here and debate with me. You can sit here and debate with this person over here. Debate with this YouTuber over here. Debate with someone that's helping you out. But the bottom line is you conceptually understand this material. You can talk about it, but you're not doing it. You're not adding it into your life. You're not practicing what you preach. And I haven't done videos on this for a long time, practicing what you preach, but most people don't practice what they preach. Most coaches and mentors don't practice what they preach. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put anybody down, but we can go, you go on YouTube. Most people that teach prosperity don't practice what they preach. They themselves are not getting what they want. It's not working for them. They don't know why. So they're not practicing what they're preaching. They're just making videos because they can conceptually talk about it. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's my little rant. So let's kind of move on here to how to live from something. What does that really mean? And it's a little windy, so hopefully it doesn't pick up, the mic doesn't pick up the wind sound. But when Neville says you have to live from something, what that means is when you set an intention, and I'll give you an example. Let's say you want your dream house, and you tell Neville, I want my dream house. That's my intention. I've created this imaginable act. I created this imaginable scene. I can see myself. I can feel myself living in my dream house. That's what from it means. When you live from it, what that means is you already have your dream house. You already have it. When you live from something, it's kind of the same thing when Neville says you live in the end. You dwell in the end. You dwell within. Okay? When you dwell within, what does dwell within mean? Dwell within means you live from it. Okay, when you dwell within your dream house, it means you already have your dream house. That's what it means. When you live from something, you go inside your imagination and you already have it. You can walk to every room. If you have a swimming pool, you can feel yourself diving into the swimming pool. Maybe relaxing, maybe you have a sauna. You can feel yourself doing that. When you go to sleep at night, you go to sleep in your house or your apartment, but you go to sleep as if you're sleeping in your dream house. You live from it. That's what it means. You live from it. You live from, now I'm going to use another lingo, you live within your 4D world. Okay, your 4D world is your imagination. I don't know if people put it like that, but that's your 4D world. Your 4D world is your imagination, because you know that imagination creates reality. You know that whatever you focus on is going to come to you sooner or later. You know this. This is manifesting. Okay, your 3D world. This is my 3D world right here. Okay, I'm walking. This is my 3D world. Is my 5 senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. This is my 3D world. Okay, my 3D world is what I can see out in front of me. I can see that post right there. I can see my cup of coffee. I can taste my cup of coffee. Kind of be funny here, but that's my 3D world. See, when you go into your 4D world, you go into your imagination. Okay, your imagination, you're living by your perception. You're living by your intuition. Okay, you're living inside your imagination. That's your 3D world, and that's what Neville Goddard means. You live from it. Okay, it's the same thing. No matter what you want your dream car. You live from it. You already have your dream car. You're already driving your dream car. Okay, if you already have something, that's why these manifesting techniques kind of work, because if you already have it, and you already have it in your 4D world, and that's the world you're living from your 4D. Okay, you're living in your 4D world, you're living in your imagination, you're living from it. It has to come to you. Now, we don't know when. We don't know how. You can't get caught up into the when and how. That's not your control. That's not your purpose. That's not up to you. Okay. All your goal is, all of what you got to do is decide what you want and live from it. Okay, decide what you want. Go into your 4D. Go inside your imagination. Live from it. Live in it. Dwell within it. No matter what words you want to use, it all means the same thing. Don't make this harder than what it really is. Okay? Don't get all caught up with, well, this term really means, living in the end really means this. Dwelling within really means this. Living from it really means this. Woo! Woo! I know there's some people out there like that. It's like, oh my goodness. You make it that this is why manifesting isn't working, but you're making it so flippin' difficult. Okay, and I want to end it with this. When people say, you hear other mentors and coaches say this, you hear other people who teach Neville Goddard or prosperity teach this, is that, sometimes they argue like, well, Chad, people's not used to using their imagination. Okay, they're not used to falling asleep in their imagination. And that is a crack of BS. Okay, you listen to this. You're used to using your imagination. You're used to falling asleep using your imagination. Okay, you're doing it every day. But what you don't want to hear is you're using it backwards. You're not using it for things you want. You're using it for things you don't want. You're using it for things that you don't like and you hate. You're using it when you have obstacles out in the middle of the road in your way. You're using it for those obstacles that pop up in your life, those negative things that pop up. People use their imagination. People use their imagination every flipping day. People fall asleep in negative states every single night. You know how to do this. Okay, now what the hard thing is, what you're not used to is you're not used to going inside your imagination and thinking about what you want, what life you want, what lifestyle you want. You're not used to laying in bed at nighttime and go inside your imagination and think about your dream life. Think about your dream car, your dream career, your dream job. Think about your dream house. You're not used to doing that because you're so conditioned. You're so much in a bad habit to constantly think about what you don't want, what you don't like, and so forth and so forth. Okay, we all, like, think about it this way. We all have a job. Maybe if you're an entrepreneur, at one point you had a job. Okay, well, what's the main thing people do? They don't like the boss. They hate their boss. They don't agree with their boss. They don't agree with decisions when they're with the boss. So they go home. They talk it over. They talk it with their significant other. If they're married, they talk it constantly with their friends how they hate their boss. That's the prime of their conversations. They go inside their imagination, having imaginal scenes, arguing with their boss every day, on Sunday night before you go to work on Monday, you're sitting back in your recliner thinking, oh my God, I got to go to work tomorrow and argue with my boss. And you go right in your imagination and you see yourself doing it. That's the same thing. When you go to sleep at night, you go to sleep on Sunday night, you go to sleep thinking, oh my God, I don't want to work. I don't want to wake up early tomorrow and go to work. I got to put up with my boss. And that's the state you fall asleep to. You know how to do this stuff. Okay. But the hard thing is that you got to reverse it. You got to start thinking about what you want, what you like. That's the hard thing, because you're so much in a bad habit of thinking what you don't like, what you don't want. That's what's going on. You know how to do this stuff. It just takes a little bit of work, because even myself, because everybody's in bad habits. Everybody has bad habits. And your bad habits has conditioned you, and your subconscious mind has conditioned you that when you wake up, you just go right back in that bad habit, right back into that negative thought pattern. That's what's happening. But anyway, friends, I'm going to finish my walk, try to enjoy my cold coffee here. And blessings to you. Peace in your life. Make sure you comment below. Let me know where you're at, what you're thinking. If you're struggling with anything, I don't care what it is. Remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you at the top.